Okay.
Hare Krishna, could you explain us if we have to bring the flowers down?
Die müssen weg.
Thank you very much, Mataji. I thought you were giving lecture, so I was a bit happy. So, Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Saturday morning Bhagavatam lecture. We'll be speaking on Canto 5, Chapter 2, Text 7. So we'll first read the verse and then we go for the purport and then we try to discuss. Katvam chikarsi cha kim munivarshale mayasi kapi bhagavat par devataya vijje bibharsi dhanus Shudra Atmarthe Kiva Margan Murgaya Se Bhipine Paramatmana. Word by word meaning. Ka, who? Tvam, are you? Chikarsasi, are you trying to do? Cha, also. Kim, what? Munivarya, O best of munis. Saila, on the hills. Maya, illusory potency. Asi, are you? Kapi, some. Bhagavat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Para Devataya, of the Transcendental Lord. Vijay, without string. Bibharsi, you are carrying. Dhanusi, two bows. Srut, of a friend. Atmanaha, of yourself. Arthe, for the sake. Kimva, or Mrigan, forest animals. Margasya se, are you trying to hunt? Vipine, in the forest. Paramatan, who are the materially maddened. Translation. The prince mistakenly addressed the Apsara. O best of saintly persons, who are you? Why are you on the hills? And what do you want to do? Are you one of the illusory potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You seem to be carrying two bows without a string. What is the reason you carry these bows? Is it for some purpose of your own or for the sake of a friend? Perhaps you carry them to kill the mad animals in the forest. While undergoing severe purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. While undergoing severe penances in the forest, Agnidhara was captivated by the movements of Purvachitti, the girl sent by Lord Brahma. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Kamasi tasi tair hrita jnanaha. When one becomes lusty, he loses his intelligence. Therefore, Agnidhara, having lost his intelligence, could not distinguish whether Purvachitti was male or female. He mistook her for a Muni Putra, the son of saintly person in the forest, and addressed her as Muni Virya. Because of her personal beauty, however, he could not believe her to be a boy. He therefore began studying her features. First he saw her two eyebrows. First he saw her two eyebrows, which were so expressive that he wondered whether he or she might be the Maya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words used in this connection are Bhagavat Para Devataya, Devata, the demigods. All belongs to the material world, whereas Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always beyond this material world, and is therefore known as Paradevata. The material world is certainly created by Maya, but it is created under the direction of Paradevata, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mayadhya Chena Prakritiha Suryate Sa Chararam. Maya is not the ultimate authority for the creation of the material world. Maya acts on behalf of Krishna. Purvachitti's eyebrows were so beautiful that Agnidhara compared them to bows without string. He therefore asked her whether they were to be used for her own purpose or for the sake of someone else. Her eyebrows were like bows meant to kill animals in the forest. This material world is like a great forest, and its inhabitants are like forest animals, such as deers and tigers meant to be killed. The killers are the eyebrows of beautiful women. Captivated by the beauty of fair sex, all the men of the world are killed by bows without strings, but cannot see how they are killed by Maya. It is a fact, however, that they are being killed. Bhutva bhutva paraliyate. By the dint of tapasya, Agnidhara could understand how Maya acts under the direction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Paramatma is also significant. Paramatma refers to one who cannot control his Paramata, not Paramatma. Yeah? The word Paramatan is also significant. Paramata refers to one who cannot control his senses. The entire material world is being exploited by people who are Paramata or Bimudha. Prahlad Maharaj therefore said, Sache tato bimukha chetsta indriya ratha maya sukhaya baharam udhvato bimudha. They are rotting in material activities for transient material pleasure and spoiling their lives, toiling all day and night simply for sense gratification, with no attachment for love of God. I am simply lamenting for them and devising various plans to deliver them from the clutches of Maya. Karmis who act very seriously for sense gratification are always referred to in the Shastras by such terms as Paramata, Bimukha and Bimudha. They are killed by Maya. However, one who is a Paramata, a sane, sober person, a Dhira, knows very well that a human being's primary duty is to render service to the Supreme Person. Maya is always ready to kill those who are Paramata with her invisible bows and arrows. Agnidhara questioned Pura Vachiti about this. So, this particular chapter, in the beginning, it says that, the King Priyavrata, who lived his life as per Vedic injunction, yeah, and he ruled his kingdom in a righteous way, basically following the principle of Vedas, Shastras, and also follows the Raj Dharma, and he ruled in the sense that he follows all those, what we call it, those 4 stages of life where you go into beginning stage where you are what we call the beginning, Varnashram Dharma. Yeah, sorry. So he followed this Varnashram Dharma literally, and at the end he took the sannyas and handed over the kingdom to his son, which is basically Agnidhara here. And this is the example which we see in various times in all the yugas, okay? And if you look the life of Lord Rama, right, he also followed the Varnashram system, even his father Dashrath Maharaj. So the right system of the leader is basically to follow the Shastra, and as per Shastra, the Varnashram is the right way for any leader. And in fact, this arrangement of Varna and Ashram is for everybody, but that has to be directed by the leader themselves, because if the leaders are not following up, then how do the praja, how do your subject will follow. And that's the problem which we mostly find in today's world, where the leaders itself, they are not complying to the shastras. And that's basically, it creates a ripple in the society where the leader is kind of, the way he thinks, the way he rules, yeah, it's the my way or highway kind of thing. And similarly, that also pollutes the whole environment, and even the subjects also go in a different direction, which is not according to the shastric injunction. Now, in order to, and these people are quite intelligent, right? We won't say intelligent, they are basically pervert kind of category, where basically in order to satisfy their ego, they are in the clutches of Maya, and in order to satisfy their ego, they basically distort the Shastra themselves. So many times when you go, and nowadays it has also somehow percolated into other societies as well, they criticize the Varnashram system itself. Okay, why I should be going to forest at the old age? I can still enjoy my senses, yeah. And that's why you see even old people, and it's everywhere, they are not ready to give up, okay, their possessions, okay, their material possessions, because till the end, okay, they want to enjoy in terms of material wealth, enjoy in terms of material enjoyment, enjoy in terms of association, men or women, okay, doesn't matter, but they want to enjoy through all their senses and also physically, yeah. And that's why the society degrades slowly and slowly. And it has, they also, if you go to in Indian context, okay, and especially in Sanatana, they first, criticize the Varna system and then the Ashram system, okay. And Varna system, the whole Varna system was devised based on the nature of work which you do, and it's there in every society, okay. For example, in German, right, those are Schumacher, the name Schumacher, right. The person who was making shoe is Schumacher, okay. The Müller, the person who was picking up the garbage, Müller, okay. But just to, since Varnashram system gives you a path or a setup by which you should rule, which basically takes you more closer to God and God, but for the people who are in the clutches of Maya, they don't want to do it. They basically try to destroy the system itself so that they can put a different alternative and satisfy their ego and satisfy their material desire. And that's why there is a huge criticism of Varna system, that, oh, why Brahman, study somewhere I was reading that, okay, the people who are Brahmin, they are 70% into all the administrative services, okay. The people who are Kshatriya, they are 20%, but the lower class is only 5%. What are you trying to tell? The Brahmana doesn't mean that Brahmana as a class. The Brahmana means the person who is inquisitive about Brahma, who is seeking for Brahma, who is looking for the God, who is looking for the answer. What it means that the person who is inquisitive, who is reading, writing, and who is seeking the, seeking for God, seeking for God's shelter. Obviously, that person who is in that direction, working in direction to elevate himself, will be in the top class. And anybody who is basically not in that league, he will slowly move down the, the social ladder. So the whole Varna system was not created to give some people some right. The whole Varna system was created in order to create a mobility in the society. You know the mobility in the society, that if you are at this level, if you are not able to maintain yourself, you basically fall down. So a Brahmana, if he is engaged into fruitive activity, engaged into low class activity, he belongs to the low class. It doesn't matter, okay, that whether you are born as a Brahmana or you are born as a Sudra. Okay, your activity basically tells you or directs you that which class you belong to. The Kshatriya class was supposed to be warrior class. Okay, if you are healthy, if you have a very strong body, you will be able to fight. If I am a sick person, which I am now, okay, how do I go to battlefield? You won't survive even 1 or 2 days. If you look at the Shastras, all the warriors were very strong. Okay, irrespective of which side they were. Okay, Duryodhana was a very strong person. Okay, Arjuna was expert in the military skills. Okay, and that's why he is in the Kshatriya class. So there is a reason why this Varnashram system has been created. Now, coming to the ashram means at what stage of life, what is your activity? Okay, as a brahmachari, you should be maintaining the purity in your life. Okay, in your activity. Okay, you will be able to do this. You will be able to take this kind of cloth to ensure that the purity of the whole thing is maintained. That was the reason. Okay, as a grihastha, okay, you cannot be imitating like a brahmachari. Somebody was telling me that day that I am, grihastha brahmachari. I don't know where this phrase come from. Okay, how do you marry grihastha and brahmachari together? Okay, and these are the people who basically creates confusion into the whole process itself, so that they can destroy the process, okay, and put their narrative forward. And many of these people are intellectually high. When I say intellectual, doesn't mean that intellectual high from the shastric point of view, but they are good in terms of manipulating the things. And they also write Bhagavad Gita, they also write many of the shastras, and people read them. Okay, and that's basically the way you divert people from the shastric ways to a fruitive activity ways or to another. And it's not only limited to shastras or spirituality. Okay, if you see, I mean, I also like democracy, and democracy was also always there in the Vedic age. If you take the example of Lord Ram, okay, I mean, his mother wanted him to go to forest, right? He adhered to that, even though he was supposed to be crowned as the king. When he came back from 15 years of exile, he heard, he was basically, the king always used to go around in a normal dress, okay, and get the pulse of the people, that what people think about him and his activity. And during that process, he heard people saying about somebody was questioning Sita Mata's chastity. Okay, so as a king, he listened to that, and that's how Sita has to go through the Agni Pariksha. Yeah, so it was not that when the kings were ruling in a shastric way, the things were not democratic. It was democratic, but as a principle, the Vedic injunction comes first. The Varnashram, pratha, the Varnashram system comes first, rather than, oh, I think this way, so that is right. Okay, it's I think so, it should be done in this way. Okay, and I do it in this way. You may have seen this in devotees also. Sometimes the principle is that we don't deviate from sadhu and shastra, but somebody comes out with a new concept. Okay, oh, We can do like this also. It doesn't matter. Little bit here and there is chalta hai. This chalta hai attitude, you know, chalta hai means, oh, it happens. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it will work. Yeah, and this chalta hai attitude basically slowly dilutes the whole shastric values, the whole Sanatani values, or whole the principle which is laid out by none other than the Lord Himself. And if you see today also, many people like democracy, right? Which is good thing. I'm fan of that, but they use democratic method, okay, to destroy the democracy itself. Okay, if you see what is going on, that okay, I have the right to speak anything. Okay, the right to speak. So wherever they go, they speak something which is very dangerous, which is very filthy to hear, but no, I have the right. Is that democracy? You have the right, but you don't have the right to offend someone. But now if you go to France, there is a rule called a right to offend. Yeah, and they are proud of it. Okay, then there comes that I have right to do whatever I want with my body. Fine, you can do it. Okay, but do it in your home. Okay, don't do it within the public. Yeah, because public has also right to defend themselves, right? Defend their value. So this whole thing is basically pulling the society in a very different, or stretching it, and the string is breaking in many areas. Okay, and that's why you see the many of the people get frustrated. Okay, they basically get frustrated. Somebody takes something to keep themselves away from this society so that they can get a peace of mind. Eventually, they don't get peace of mind, right? And so the kings, the kings in the Vedic system, the process they followed, okay, was the right thing to do for a king or for the leader to do, and there were certain values, right? Okay, in the today's world, the leaders have hardly any leaders have any right value, right? It's all about me, and mine. Okay, and in the Shastras or in the Vedic culture, the me is the last thing which come. Okay, the ego, the my ego, is the first thing the leader should take out. If you know the story of Ramayana, Bharat Maharaj, after Ram, left Ayodhya, so Bharat Maharaj was ruling on behalf of him, right? So when Ram was going to forest, Bharat Maharaj was in his paternal grandmother's place, and when he heard that, he came back and he went to request the Lord Ram that, yes, my mother has said this, okay, but I don't take it. Okay, what is my fault? Okay, please come back to Ayodhya and you rule. But Ram had given his vow, and that was the character of the leader, that my father has given this promise to my mother, and I have to, it's my duty to fulfill my father's promises. In today's world, forget promises. The children don't even pay their father's debt. Okay, you have taken it, you have enjoyed it, please go and pay it. Okay, so that's the culture which we have evolved. Of course, over a period of time, things get degraded. But the Shastras basically arrest us from falling down. That's the whole objective of the Shastra. And when we were quoting Bharat Maharaj, the 15 years which he lived, okay, he lived in a very modest condition. Okay, and the whole Ayodhya used to hate him. Even though he was not sitting on the throne, he was ruling. On the throne it was Lord Ram's Paduka, and he was executing the duties on behalf of Lord Ram. And whenever Bharat Maharaj used to go out, okay, people used to throw a stone at him without any of his fault. Okay, but Bharat Maharaj never taken any offense to that, because he knew that where it is coming. And Bharat Maharaj, in order to save himself from all the abuses and these stones and getting hurt, every day he used to wake up early in the morning when there is nobody around. Okay, he used to go and take bath into the Saryu river. The place where Ayodhya is, the river flowing by is Saryu river. He will take bath in the morning and then come back before anybody wakes up. Okay, so that he don't have to face the abuse. Yeah, so this was the stature, or this was the standard of the leaders at that point of time. Okay, and that's why when Prabhupada was he was still a Grihastha. When he saw that, of course he saw that in India, but he knew that everywhere it is the same situation. Yeah, and Prabhupada then started giving this message of Shastras, of the Vedic culture, to everybody. Okay, that look, this is the wrong way to go for us. This will basically destroy the society. But of course nobody was listening to him, and at a very old age, Prabhupada basically left India, okay, to spread because he realized that those who are here, they don't listen to him. They follow to somebody whom they think who is superior, okay. So he wanted to change that superior mentality so that he can change the so-called inferior mentality people, okay. Because he realized that whatever I say, because at that point of time it was coming out of British rule, and there was a people had this what we call zeal, okay, to this is happening there, I also want this, because the leaders at that point of time in India, they were literate, but literate not in the terms of Vedic knowledge. Okay, they were literated, they were all Western educated, and they wanted to impose those values onto the people, and they successfully did it, of course. Yeah, and so people were getting distracted from the Vedic injunctions, and that's why Prabhupada had to go to America at a very age when nobody travels there, yeah, and then in a very cold winter, still he was preaching to people, and he was quite successful at that age in order to convince people that the Krishna consciousness is the right way to live or create a proper society, the society which takes care of its well-being, not only physically but mentally and spiritually itself. And then when Prabhupada came back, he was quite old, and he was in Vrindavan that point of time, very frail, and people knew at some point of time he will depart this planet. So when Prabhupada was there, one of the very big businessmen, still they are big, but at that time there was a person called, I think, some Bajaj. He was Bajaj. It's a big business house in India. They make scooters there, and financial sector also. Very rich people, okay. So Mr. Bajaj, he was in Mumbai, and he went to travel to Delhi, and then he heard that Prabhupada is in Vrindavan, okay. So he came to meet him. All these rich people, they also are a bit religious, okay, but they have, also the attraction towards Maya, yeah. So people, it's like that. And it happens with all of us wants everything. Yeah, I should be very rich, I should be very beautiful, I should be very strong, I should never die perhaps, and my money should not get anywhere, and the people around me should be beautiful. Okay, everything should be beautiful. Okay, If you heard recently, there was a very he's top 3 richest person in the world. So he got his son married, and in the marriage he spent around $500 million. And you know where he spent? Not on charity. So he spent on bringing all those what we call rock star to sing in the marriage party, bringing many people, and he also invited a lot of sadhus. Okay, so he takes care of. He's a businessman, right? He takes care of all the things of the society, but that's not the way a leader, whether he's a leader in financial sector or in a political sector, he behaves that. Ideally speaking, they should have. I mean, if the amount of money they spent, if they had given a portion of that to the temples, many of the temples would have been completed. At least the Mayapur temple would have been completed by a small fraction of donation from there. Okay, but people choose not to do that. Okay, especially because they have this ego. Yeah, they have this, inherent desire to show themselves that, hey, I am here. Okay, but anyway, so when Mr. Bajaj was there, so he went to visit Prabhupada. He was a religious guy, so he went to meet Prabhupada and he saw Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai. So Gaur Nitai ki Jai. So Mr. Bajaj, he went to meet Prabhupada. Prabhupada knew him. And when he met him, Prabhupada, he asked, Mr. Bajaj was a bit disturbed, okay, not disturbed that Prabhupada is on he's on his last journey, okay, but he was disturbed that Prabhupada, with his so much effort, okay, so much dedication, he has created such a big organization called Krishna Consciousness Organization. How this organization is going to survive? Okay, so see, the businessman always thinks in a different way, right? He is thinking about the future. Okay, so he asked Prabhupada, okay, that Prabhupada, how this is going to survive without you? And it's not only his concern, many of the devotees also thought that what happens without Prabhupada? Okay, so Prabhupada showed him all his disciples, the Western disciples, who were at a very tender age at that point of time. Somebody was 22, 25, 26. I don't know, maybe none of them were above 26 or 27-year-old at that point of time. So he showed them, they will take care of this. Okay, and he was surprised. Mr. Bajaj, he was surprised that he was not so much convinced that, okay, this can survive. But it survived. So, the Krishna conscious movement did not survive because of the money or because there were many people. It survived because there is a morning Mangala Arati. It survived because there was a Guru Puja. It survived because there was a offering to the Lord. It survived because there was a Sunday program. It survived because Prabhupada trained all his disciples to share his love with these people, those who basically were seeking, okay, refuge into our peace of mind, okay, in shastras, in devotion. And that's how it survived. So you or me can go to big colleges, Harvard, ETH and all, okay, and may have very big degree, may come out very big plan that, okay, I can make a temple, I can go to this industrialist, get 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, I can big a very big farm in Zurich, okay, that, and we can have a very beautiful altar. No, so that does not make the Krishna conscious movement successful. What makes successful is the values which has given by Prabhupada, which is ultimately coming from Krishna itself. Okay, the values that we need to give people love. Radhanath Maharaja was Yesterday somebody played the lecture in the temple. We were working in the kitchen of Sindhu Tai. I will just share. Have you ever heard about this Mataji named Sindhu Tai? Okay, probably you too, but just to share with you. So the Sindhu Tai, she was a very simple lady in India, very poor, and so poor that, and you know, at that point of time, the status of women was not so nicely maintained in the society, because again there is a fall down in the society, how to take care of the children's, how to take care of the women, children's, old age people and all. But anyway, to cut the story short, so the Sindhu Tai, she basically got married at very early age with a very abusive husband who kicked him out of the house because somebody talked ill about his wife, and he believed that person's version of the story, and she was kicked out of the house when she was pregnant and the last point of her delivery. Okay, and she was put into the cow shed, so that the cow comes and runs over her, because she was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and she could not move. The lady gave birth to one daughter into that cow shed, and the cow, okay, which she used to take care earlier, okay, took care of her, and with a stone she basically removed the umbilical cord of her child, okay, and then after that, I mean, it's a quite long story. Maharaj's lecture was 45 minutes on that. I'm just trying to concise in a very simple thing, so that we bring out this message of love, that, So Sindhu Tai, so the lady went to her parents' house, okay, that this has happened to me. And her parent also thought that she had a bad woman, and they did not give shelter to her at their house, okay. And so it's a kind of story that she was rejected by everybody, okay, rejected by her own parents, rejected by her husband, okay, and then she was somehow she was surviving, and the society is also not very kind to a single woman, right? And so she started living near a morgue. The morgue is a place where when the people die, the dead bodies are brought and they are burned there, okay. And those who bring the dead body, they also bring some rice, dal and all, to keep it there so that the soul can eat them. So Sindhu Tai stayed many days in the morgue, okay, and to save herself from the society, outside society. And she used to pick all those grains and cook from them to survive, for the survival of herself and the child itself. Now, after many days, she got fed up with life, okay, and she wanted to die. Then she went to a railway track, and she basically trying to put her in front of the rail, and then suddenly she heard some voice, somebody was looking for water, and she got up to give water to that person, okay. So she was about to commit suicide along with the child, and she gave water to that person, and that changed her perspective of life, okay, that if I can if I can help one person, I can help many people. And there she started, and she started taking care of orphan children's, okay, and slowly that orphan child, it becomes very big, and she was awarded with many awards, So the point here is that if you give love to the people, everybody is seeking love. Maharaj was telling in the lecture, everybody is seeking to love somebody, okay, and to be loved by somebody. Yeah, that's the nature of. Even he was telling that even the Swamis are also, seeking love. Okay, So the point which I'm trying to tell here um, that in Krishna conscious movement, the whole movement started with Prabhupada giving love to those who were rejected by the society at that point of time in America. Okay, and that's where it started, and that's where the whole thing got, and the Krishna conscious movement basically, okay, brought the whole Sanatan or the Vedic system into focus for the general mass. Okay, when I was child means 5-6 year old, so we used to early in the morning at 5 a.m. we used to go to football field, play football, and beside that, and this is 70s, I'm talking 1970 around, no, 75 around, and beside the football field, okay, the devotees will be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they used to go around, and we used to make fun of them. Okay, hey, they don't have any work. Okay, and think about us. We were child and we were making fun of people who were basically doing Harinam. Okay, so that was the kind of society. There was many temple. All the temple were basically temple of demigods. Okay, there was only one Jagannath temple which I saw, because every year there used to be Jagannath Rath Yatra. So from that kind of society, okay, we say the world is degrading every day. Yes, it is degrading, but there are people who are also getting saved by a movement like Hare Krishna movement. If you go today, in the same place where I grew up, okay, where we didn't even know the Krishna conscious movement, okay, there are 4 Hare Krishna temple. And many of the people who are associated are my childhood friends, okay, with whom I used to play football at that point of time. And many of them have so the point which I'm trying to derive is that that we need to understand that the Varnashram system, which is basically established by the Shastras, okay, that need to be spread, okay, in every corner of the society, and also the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Hare Krishna, and the Krishna conscious, making people Krishna conscious, thinking about Krishna, behaving the way the teaching of Krishna is, okay, that need to be spread across, and the today's leader, they should embrace. I don't know how will they embrace. I don't have any magic stick, because I don't see any leader in this whole 100. How many countries? 212, right? I don't see any leader has the potential to adopt the the Varnashram system or behave in this way. But that's the try which we can do. That's the effort which we can do, and by preaching, by going out. By celebrating festival, inviting people into the festival, we can spread the message of Krishna consciousness, spread the message of Vedic literature, and that's how we can, at least not all, at least if we are able to turn few people, okay, in Krishna conscious, it will be a great achievement, because it's not so nice. In today's world, there are a lot of wars, and it's all because of ego. If you look at any war you pick up, and the world is turning more and more into dictatorship. Okay, there used to be a country called Venezuela in South America. It used to be a very beautiful country. Not only beautiful in terms of landscape, most of the Miss Worlds were used to come from Venezuela. And if you go, 1 or 2 philosophies, they have ruined the whole country. Okay, it's one of the poorest country now, in spite of having so much material wealth. Okay, so it's the philosophy of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is very relevant today. It is helping many people. Many people are becoming devotee, and it will happen some point of time. I see many of the devotees recently, they have also gone into the preaching. Even in the big function, the marriage ceremony which I was talking about, the richest person in India, he also invited a lot of saints, and one of the saint was our Guru Maharaj Radhanath Swami. But Maharaj did not go into that particular day. He went and met one day before that, okay? Because, of course, a devotee will not like those kind of gathering. Okay, but slowly, slowly the preachings are happening, and all of us should give our best wherever we are. When we were growing in Krishna consciousness, beginning day, I told them, wherever you are, either you are in India, Singapore, Switzerland, US, support the local Hare Krishna community. Money, body, time, whatever is possible. Okay, because you cannot have everything. We are not God that we will have everything. So whatever way we can, we should spread the message, and someday things will happen. Yeah, the signs are positive. We see many of the devotees going to the rulers, preaching them, giving them Bhagavad Gita. It's when recently there was a British election, both the candidates, they went to Hare Krishna temple and seek the blessing of Lord Krishna that please give me more votes. Yeah, so things will change. It's not so bad. Okay, of course we see a lot of problems, but if we follow the injection of shastras, okay, the world becomes more and more better. Hare Krishna. Any question, anything? Happy to answer. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much for your lecture. So you were very nicely mentioning how the society degrades because people want to have instant sense of each other, and they basically give up what they want most, that is to be loved and to give love, and they just give it up for the thing that feels good now. So and then you were also mentioning that this degradation is taking place because the rulers are also following, and of course the rulers are chosen by the society, so it's basically the same. And that we have to get this knowledge how we can live peacefully. And since we know that actually the rulers also have to change, we have to spread it in a wide way. And what is your opinion to do this in the best way?
Yeah, this is a very good question, and I was thinking of bringing this point. Look, when the biggest, people have to be proactive, right? It cannot happen sitting in a room. Yeah, so Gaurarupa Dasa Prabhu, he is a brahmachari in Chowpatty temple, and he's very strong in sadhana. Okay, he's very busy person. Okay, he goes to everywhere in the world to give corporate lectures, and when he give lectures, okay, he does not talk about Krishna because he's talking to audience. Yeah, so once 5 years back, okay, in my office we have coaching program. Okay, I work here in Switzerland, so they said, okay, you have completed this many years, you have opportunity to come to our HR and get some lifestyle coaching to improve your business status and all, etc., etc. So I went there, I registered for there, and then I was talking to the coach who was talking to me. He's a Swiss person, okay, not speaking very good English, but in the English way. And he was telling, you know what? And he's telling me, yeah, that you know what? You should, there is a person called, you know, he wears like this, he's a saved guy, okay. He's Gopal. I said, Gaurarupa Dasa. He said, yeah, that person. He was telling that you should listen to his motivational lectures, okay, and that will help you a lot, okay. So the devotees are going out, okay. They are not limited to, just doing bhajans and all, okay. They are going out. And that has impact on the society, lot of impact. Earlier, the manor, if you look at London, Hare Krishna manor, it did not have authority to bring any structure. It was only given by George Harrison, there is one place, and it did not have the authority to build any structure, okay. But by preaching, by influencing the leaders of the society, they managed to get approval, okay, to build a place called Haveli, okay. So the politicians are convinced that these are good people, okay. They are nice people. They don't create a rasak in the society. They are basically spreading the message. So slowly it is happening, but. It should happen in a way that it suits, it cannot be, we cannot go everywhere in every office and bombard with Hare Krishna message. Oh, no meditating, no. That guy will, before you can start the next sentence, the guy will run out because that is his primary focus for time being. So it need to happen in a gradual way. Prabhupada did not build ISKCON in a single day. Yeah, he had to give love to many people. There were many days, if you read Prabhupada, but there were many days where he was alone. The devotees booked a hall once for his lecture, and when Prabhupada came, there was nobody in the auditorium. But Prabhupada still gave lecture. Okay, so the Rome was not built in a one day. But it is very important. Prabhupada once said that, somebody asked him a question that, something happened. Somebody left the movement, okay? And he asked that, okay, he was initiated and he left the movement. Prabhupada said, okay, that is his problem, but the philosophy is right. So the philosophy which Prabhupada has given, okay, it's 100% right, okay? Whether somebody is able to take it or not, that's the individual issue, individual problem, individual orientation, okay? Not everybody passes all the exam, right? We also know from our life, okay? Out of 10 subjects in my master's, the first year I failed in one of the subjects which was the easiest because I thought it was the easiest, okay? So it happens with everybody. At some point of time, all the devotees which you meet, not everybody come to temple, but slowly with effort, okay? With sharing our experience, giving them knowledge, and in that way we are quite, I will say, fortunate that we have this temple here, where the prasadam is one of the best in the whole Europe, I can tell. So, and that's the way to go, it has to be happen in gradual way. The devotees need to go out, need to talk to more and more people. Whether they are successful or not, that's not in our hand, because as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right, we can put our effort, okay? The result is not in our hand. So I hope it answered a question. Many of the devotees are going out. If you go to YouTube, there are so many people. Last year, who is the Gaurang Prabhu, he came in many of this conversation on YouTube, okay? And these people who normally, take opinion of film actor, politician, And the devotees also, they went in those channels and they talked about Krishna. They talked only about Krishna and how with Krishna consciousness we can make the world a better place to live. And same we need to do. Yes.
Sorry, I have a different question. You mentioned a topic that's quite important topic I find, where Grihasthas don't find themselves correctly positioned, especially if they're coming from brahmacharya ashram. They might misunderstand how to behave with the wife, etc. And I want to first read something Srila Prabhupada said. You mentioned this term, Grihastha brahmachari. It's something that Srila Prabhupada mentioned. I want to read first and then ask the question. So there are two types of brahmacharis, Srila Prabhupada says. One who is leading complete celibacy, complete free from sex life, he's called brahmachari. Another brahmachari is Grihastha brahmachari. He has got his wife, but he has no other understanding of any other woman. And that wife also only, relationship is performed under regulation. He is also brahmachari. One who has a relationship with wife under rules and regulation and doesn't know any other woman is also brahmachari. That is called brahmachari. So my question is, how can we help brahmacharis to enter correctly the Grihastha ashram and decide
Yeah, I mean,
solve the misunderstanding?
absolutely. So something which Prabhupada says and something which comes from person like me had two different connotations. Yeah. At Prabhupada level, he can tell that one, okay? But at a normal person's, because he's Acharya, right? Okay. And it's a very nice point, okay? I haven't read this, okay? But it's a very nice point that it's basically restricting yourself into one relationship, right? And that's where the Shastra help us, okay? So Prabhupada has brought this point, okay, to make your life little bit easier, okay? That, yes, you restrict itself. You are also performing the similar activity, okay? But you restrict yourself into a single relationship and not multiple relationship, okay? And the life of a brahmachari is far more restricted than grihastha, okay? So I believe, I have not read the fully, but what Prabhupada is trying to communicate here is that you basically be as strict as a brahmachari, okay? But at the same time, you also perform your duty as a grihastha, okay? Now, this grihastha brahmachari term, many people who have not read thoroughly, they may take in a very different way. Oh, sometime I'm a grihastha, sometime I'm a brahmachari, depending upon my convenience. And that's where the danger lies. You know, it says the devil is always in the detail. Okay? When you start implementing the things, okay, then you realize that, and you know, most of the time what happens, that's the nature of human, that they interpret the sadhu and shastra as per their convenience. Okay? And that's the biggest problem in any of the society. Okay, somebody told me many years back, hey, you know, in Vedas it is written that after the Ashwamedha Yagya, they used to have feast on the horse which was running for the Ashwamedha. Yeah. It might be written, but you know, those munis and sadhus had so much power that they can bring back the horse to life even after it is killed. Somebody quoting me that, okay, earlier the Brahmanas used to eat beef. I don't know how true this is. But people quote from somewhere just to prove their ego. It has nothing to do with the teachings which Prabhupada or the Vedas are telling. It's just they are quoting just to prove their ego. Okay. So the best thing is basically to understand if somebody is going from, because I directly came to Krishna conscious from my Grihastha life. Okay, so I never explored the brahmachari area. But if any brahmachari, and I'm not the authority to suggest, but my personal or whatever I have heard, okay, that when you are transitioning from one stage to another stage, okay, you need to get the full counseling, okay, from, if you have a guru, from guru, that what are the do's and don'ts, because you are molded into certain feature, okay, that morning this, evening this. As a brahmachari, you had no liability in terms of relationship. Liability is a bad term, no responsibility in terms of relationship, okay. But when you enter from brahmachari to grihastha ashram, those extra duties, these are not burdens, okay. There is the words are always tricky: liability, responsibility, burdens, and duties, right? So it are not a burdens; these are duties which comes as part of the deal, okay. So it's not that I'm brahmachari today, tomorrow I'm grihastha. No, we need to understand that what are the duties which will come along with this, and then I need to go for that. And that's why many time problems comes that, okay, my Guru Maharaj said this at that point of time. Fine, he said that, but that was in a different context. Now you are in a different ashram, okay? Now you have, and for grihastha, the duties are more, you know. At the brahmachari level, yes, there are many strict regulations which you need to follow. But when you go into grihastha, you not only have to take care of your family, you have to also take care of the extended family. Extended family is a devotee surrounding you, the temple which is there, because the prime most duty of the grihastha is to take care of the temple. Most of the, if you go to Radha Gopinath temple, most of the sevas are done by the grihasthas, not by the brahmacharis. The brahmacharis are fully assigned the duty of preaching, education, giving the lecture, educating the society, going distributing books, going to colleges, okay, feeding them. You know, those are also hard duties. But grihastha had to take care of the temple. So we need to understand our status in the varnashram system and act accordingly. Otherwise, things goes wrong, and then we are neither grihastha nor brahmachari. So that's my understanding of whatever I've heard so far. I may not be completely right or completely wrong, okay, but there where my experience tells me. And the grihastha life is much more, not challenging, I will say, but comes with much more responsibility. And as you grow, you know, the child has less responsibility than parents. And as you grow, the sannyasi has far more responsibility than any of the three ashram. Okay, because he is basically controlling the whole society. People listen to him, people look up to him. Think about, I will give you, finish in 2 minutes, okay? At the time when Prabhupada started preaching, okay, at the same time there was another person, okay, called Osho, Rajneesh. I don't know whether you have heard the name or not. In my college days, I used to hear him, okay. He also started preaching, okay. He was a very intelligent person. When I was hearing him, he can really mesmerize you and control your mind by his lecture, okay. But the philosophy was totally, you know, totally crap. Absolutely crap philosophy. So it's not the person who matters, okay. So sometimes I think that so many people adored Prabhupada, okay. What would have happened, okay, if he had preached the wrong philosophy? It would happen like Osho. Yeah. So it's very important that for us to understand the crux of the matter, that what I am following, it's not that whom I am following. We adore Prabhupada because he given us the jewel. He extracted out all the Prabhupada or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or his father, okay, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, right? They basically worked hard to get the essence from the literature and distribute to all of us so that we can take them and prosper. Okay, otherwise it's you know. I mean, in India there are so many sadhus and babas, X, Y, Z, so many followers, and everybody is. We should not criticize, but at least I'm not convinced that. I mean, many people talk many things at many places. Okay, many of the things I'm not convinced there. I'm not criticizing them. Okay, just because I follow Prabhupada, but many things I find very bad. Yeah, it's totally out of the way, has no relation. They are all sitting in very big positions in the spiritual life, but it has nothing to do with sadhu and shastra. And still people flock around. Okay, still people go. Hundreds and thousands of people are sitting there listening to them, not sure whether implementing anything in their life. Okay, but they have followers. So very important that which ashram we are in when we are transitioning, very important that we take the right suggestion from the right people, from the right source. Even in the devotee circle, we have to be very careful that whom are we taking guidance from. Because that person may be very good in book distribution, but may not be very good in practical life. It happens, right? Everybody has their own strength and own weaknesses, whether devotee or non-devotee. So our intelligence lies in that whom do we associate with. If that is very clear, probably we are in the right path. I mean, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I never cared about any Baba or Sadhu and anybody. But when I heard about Prabhupada, that immediately catches something. It was some different experience to be altogether. I was totally kind of atheist. So sorry, I spoke a lot. I'm not sure whether it... Mataji, you had one question. It's... Anybody?
I think it's nice if we, those who like to go, and those who like to stay.
Yeah. You have question?
Thank you for the lecture. It was really nice and inspiring. My question is related to the democratic mind of devotees and leaders also. So the question is, like, if we have leaders or even some devotees who are open-minded and they see things in a different way, but because we talk so much strictly about the varnashram, grastashram, brahmacharya ashram, and so many ashrams in a very conservative way sometimes. But since we are living in a different time and ages, things are changing. But because of this conservative view, sometimes even in the devotee circle, everything becomes so strict that even leaders can't change anything. And even though they have like another vision to make things better in the society or in the Krishna conscious society, but they can't do it because of these narrow-mindedness. So my question is, how to follow the Shastras in a way that we could also bring a change, not only in the community outside, but also inside the Krishna
Yeah.
community?
You know, I will tell you something which I heard many years back in some lecture, not Hare Krishna lecture, but it was a very good point. What happens that in the world, okay, we are so used to follow the wrong principles that over a period of time, that wrong principles, if somebody is telling us the right principle, we feel that this is wrong and that is right. You got my point? We are used to follow something which was wrong, okay, but if somebody is teaching me right, okay, I think that, oh, this guy is conservative, this guy is that, okay, what is happening, that is right. When I first time came to Krishna consciousness, so the devotee who introduced me, who was my Siksha Guru, of my same age, same height and all, and so when I met him, initially we used to fight, okay, and then we started staying together, okay, that Prabhu. And there are many other people, it was a guest house. So whenever then I got trained into Hare Krishna way, okay. So whenever I come from office, so he said Hare Krishna Prabhu, I say Hare Krishna Prabhu, then we give dandot to each other. Then the other guy, few other guy comes, okay, and we used to keep our shoes outside, and these guys were running with shoes in the house and all, because it was guest house, okay. So I pointed them, hey, why are you doing this? You should keeping your shoes outside, not inside. Okay. So one day he told me that, oh, you guys are very formal. Okay, you guys are not normal. So think about this. I am coming without shoes in the room. Okay. He thinks this is formal, not normal. I mean, think about it. With shoe, you go outside, you go to toilet, you go to road and all. Your shoe is totally dirty. He is trying to prove me that he is doing the right thing and I am doing the wrong thing. I am giving respect to another person. Okay, he thinks it is not normal. This is formal. So that's how the society degrades, just by following the, I went to preach in one of the Indian society here. Some society, and then they asked me to give Bhagavad Gita lecture, and I gave, and then at the end I told them that please come to temple, we have a temple here, Sunday there are programs, there is a Bhagavad Gita lecture. So one Indian girl, okay, she asking me question that, once I went there in the temple and I see that all girls, they are coming in sari, and this is told by Indian girl, 25, 26 or 30 years old Indian girl, okay, probably whose mother has been wearing sari or grandmother wearing sari, and from North India, where the sari is more prevalent, okay. She is telling me that I go to the temple, all the girls are wearing sari and they are covering their head. I find it very regressive. The Hare Krishna temple is very regressive. Now think about the mindset. The person who few generations back were all wearing saris, now when they see in Zurich ladies wearing sari, they think that society, this temple is regressive. That's how illegitimate things are legitimized. By repeating again, if you repeat the false narrative 10 times, people start believing that this is the right narrative, and that they start believing the right narrative as a false narrative. Yeah. So what we tell conservative is really not conservative. Okay. As I said, there was a huge democracy at the time of Lord Ram, because Lord Ram used to hear to all his subjects. And even though he gave up his wife, because one guy from his kingdom told about Sita, that how pure she is, she stayed with Ravan for 1 year. That was not democracy. That is called democracy, where the king goes into, how many prime minister or president goes into masses in normal dress and try to get the pulse of the society? None. They all set up some agency that go and find out, do some research and give me the feedback. That's called autocracy. Yeah. So what we are thinking is regressive or conservative. It's not really. This is the real way of life which has been there. Over a period of time we have forgotten. Okay, and that's what Prabhupada revived, and his disciples are taking it forward. So we really need to, those who are telling us that you need to open our mind, probably we need to not tell them, we need to prepare them so that they also open their mind. Okay, because in order to have an exchange, both the minds should be open. Yeah, then we can have conversation. Otherwise, if we close one mind, then it becomes violent. That's what's happening in the Sanatana Dharma. There was hardly any fight. Okay, most of the time, I'm talking about the fight in terms of scriptures, right? Most of the time there was debate. Okay, and in debate, people used to defeat the philosophy, not like current that if I have this philosophy, I will behead somebody. That's the violence. So those who are telling us or you or anybody that, okay, this is conservative, no, this is the right thing to do. Yes, let us have a debate, okay, that what is conservative and what is regressive or what is democratic. So most of the kings were democratic in nature. They used to travel in night and see, is there any problem in my kingdom or not? So that's how it worked. Sorry, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to hear that girl, you know, that, you know, she feels that wearing sari on the head was regressive, which her parents might have done many, many generations. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, share it with you. And thought, yeah, probably if, as in many of the Indians, I think they follow many rules and they don't know why they follow.
Yeah.
So if this girl was seeing it, then she asks her mother or her grandmother, and she says, "Why are you doing this?" And they would like say, "I don't know. It's just because we are doing it." So if we see that other people then follow also rules and regulations that we don't understand, then we might think like, oh, this is regressive. But
that's why I said we need to keep.
Understood why.
Yeah, but the problem with her that the mind is closed, right? The mind is closed. So the ability, if you have closed mind, ability to inquire and ability to be inquisitive is not there, because it's only my way or highway. And that's the ego, and that's what we have been discussing, you know. It's always, people tell that you need to be open-minded. Yes, you need to be open-minded. That's why we are here. Open your mind. We tell you Bhagavad Gita, let's see how much you are able to grasp into your mind. But if you closed your mind, okay, then nothing goes in. It's all stops here. It has to go from this and come out of this, and in between the processing happens. You know, somebody say, oh, it went from this ear and came out of this ear, I understand nothing. No. If it has come this side and came out from this side, it means it has gone through the cells and brains and nerves and all, so something has been observed. So the minds need to be open to understand anything good. Hare Krishna. Sorry to keep you longer, but thank you very much for listening patiently. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai.